Hi, my name is Sergio Ruiz. I work in the Pedestrian and Bicycle branch within the Division of Transportation Planning and Local Assistance. I will be presenting the Caltrans District 4 bike map. While bike maps have been around for quite a while, this will be the most comprehensive bike map created for the state highway system in District 4. This will pave the way for future efforts in planning for active transportation and help improve mobility for bicyclists. Our Complete Streets policy directs Caltrans to provide the needs for cyclists of all ages and abilities. Bicycle transportation is an integral element of the state's transportation system. Though not everyone may be aware of this, cyclists are legal roadway users on conventional highways, expressways, and even some freeway shoulders within California and District 4. The main objective of the District 4 bike map is to convey information to the public on bicycle access on the state highway system. We wanted to provide information on bikeway classifications, or type of bicycle facility. These include Class 1 bike paths, Class 2 bike lanes, and Class 3 bike routes. While Class 1 and 2 facilities have specific physical characteristics, bike routes are not as easy to identify. They are usually locally designated on streets with lower traffic speeds and volumes, but not always. There are no set guidelines on what makes a Class 3 bike route. We also wanted to include a topography-based map to provide a general sense of terrain. And we wanted a tool that could be zoomable so you could see the bicycle network at any scale or in detail. We chose to use GIS, or Geographic Information System software, since it allows us to include the features we wanted. So why create a Caltrans bike map for state highways when there are several mapping sources already available to the public? First, there's a legal requirement. California Streets and Highway Code Section 887.2 requires that the department, in cooperation with local agencies, shall publish a statewide map illustrating state highway routes available for the use of bicyclists, and where bicyclists are prohibited from using a state highway, illustrating in such a case safe alternate routes available to the bicyclist. Here in District 4, our branch receives numerous requests from the public on which state routes are accessible to bicyclists. Right now, there is no obvious source of information that the public can use to see which state routes are open to cyclists or where they are prohibited. This is inconsistent with California Streets and Highway Code Section 887.2. Existing bike plans only show existing and proposed bike routes. They don't always include information on roadways where bicycle-specific facilities do not exist, yet bicyclists are still permitted. For example, MTC's Regional Bicycle Plan, which covers the same counties as Caltrans District 4, does not include information specific to every state highway. Another example, the Google Maps bicycling layer only shows where bicycle-specific facilities are located. This is the same for the 511 Bike Mapper. Here's an example of Highway 101 crossing Richardson Bay Bridge, where cyclists are permitted to use the freeway shoulders. Google Maps bicycling directions goes with the route that is more bicycle friendly. As you can see, this route adds significantly to the travel distance. It isn't obvious to a person trying to find the shortest route that freeway shoulders are even an option. To the right is an example of a local bicycle plan. It shows existing and proposed bicycle-specific facilities, like bike paths, bike lanes, and bike routes. Again, there is no indication of where cyclists can or cannot ride. So here's the Caltrans District 4 bike map, showing that cyclists can use the freeway shoulders. In this case, it also shows an alternate route, which is not as direct, but has a higher comfort level than the more direct route available. Here's the map showing San Francisco Bay. As you can see in the legend, solid green represents bike paths, dashed green represents bike lanes, dotted green are bike routes, solid brown are state highways, freeways, and roads paralleling freeways open to bicyclists, and dotted brown are freeway shoulders open to the bicyclists. Here's a zoomed-in view of downtown Oakland and West Oakland. This area is very urbanized. Here, state highways mostly consist of freeways where cyclists are prohibited. Alternate routes for cyclists are shown instead. In determining the best parallel route, we chose routes that were most direct with the highest reasonable comfort level when available. Here's a map of Sonoma County. This is much more rural than Oakland. Here, cyclists are permitted on most state routes except Highway 101. Route 1 here is represented as a highway open to cyclists, though it is designated as a bike route by some jurisdictions. Here's an example of where we will be seeking input from local stakeholders on how best to describe this corridor. Some uses of the bike map include making information available to the general public, including stakeholders and agency partners. The bike map will help inform Caltrans and its partners on system planning and project development support. Going back to our Complete Streets policy, you can see that not all facilities meet the needs of cyclists of all ages and abilities. It would not be enough to say that highway shoulders are enough to satisfy the needs of all cyclists. Only a small fraction of cyclists would feel comfortable enough to use a highway or freeway shoulder if that is the most direct route available. There is a significant latent demand for bicycle travel where there are network deficiencies. This bike map can help identify and address these deficiencies on the state highway system in support of our Complete Streets policy. Our next steps will be to provide a beta version of the map on our District 4 website. We will seek input from local agencies and stakeholders, and then finalize and publish the bike map on our website. A next phase would include creating printable route-specific maps showing elevation changes along state route. Here are two examples of bike guides from other districts showing elevation data for each route. These guides are printable PDF documents, but they are not as good for zooming in and out at different scales to see better details. They show where cyclists are permitted and not permitted, but do not go into the bicycle facility type in any detail. So finally, what would be the next logical step after identifying the existing bicycle network on the state highway system? It could be to develop the District 4 bicycle plan. Such a plan would complement our Complete Streets policy, as well as our new Caltrans mission to provide a safe, sustainable, integrated, and efficient transportation system to enhance California's economy and livability. For questions, you can contact me or Beth Thomas, the Pedestrian and Bicycle Coordinator for District 4. Thank you.